Welcome to the very first episode of the Valaery Rose Show. I'm your host, Valaery Rose, a life coach, speaker, and guide to anyone seeking to work on becoming their best self. Now, this podcast is for anyone who is seeking more in their life, becoming something more than who they already are. So, seeking transformation, empowerment, overall elevation, and thriving in their purpose. If you want to do better things in your life, like you just feel like there's more to life, more to do, more to know, more to feel, and more to give, then this is the podcast for you. Now, before we dive into the heart of the show, I want to share with you a little bit about who I am and my story. So, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon, I didn't have the picture perfect story. Just like many, I've hit rock bottom and I've experienced so much trauma in life, just so many challenges. And from being at a rock bottom point, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, relationally, and spiritually, I learned how to thrive and rise from all of those challenges that were meant to ultimately destroy me and make me an individual that wouldn't be happy. So, just like I know how to rise, I also know how to transform, elevate, and thrive, which is why I want to help you do the same. So continue to watch to learn more. You want to stop running from your pain and you want to start rebuilding from your current power that you have. Just like my journey led me to personal development, coaching, and ultimately freedom. But that freedom took me to really think about the things that made me unhappy in life and made me happy in life and brought a lot of accountability. So I had to stop pretending to be okay. I had to look myself in the mirror, accept my reality, and write down a list of all the problems in my life, what I could change, and what wasn't in my control. Because sometimes life is always going to be life in, and there's things that we can control, and there's things that we can't control. So all you can really focus on are the things that you can control, which is mainly your mindset, your actions, your behaviors, the way you want to feel, and the choices that you make. So, in the process of this, just finding my best self, healing myself through all my trauma, and becoming a better individual, I became a coach. And this is why I started this podcast. This podcast isn't just another motivational talk, it's a movement. And I created this space to help you feel seen, help you feel heard, and be empowered because I know that's exactly what I needed when I was going through my healing era and figuring out my place in the world and who I wanted to become. And we all deserve the truth over perfection. We deserve conversations that are going to go deeper than the surface. So, the Valaery Rose Show will challenge you to elevate that mindset. It's going to expand your heart and ultimately activate that personal power that is already inside of you. So I invite you to stay here with me on this show to grow, to rise, to stop settling, and to stop shrinking yourself. And this is really going to help you remember who you really are or who you even want to become. So, my transform, elevate, thrive. That's my little slogan when I always discuss my coaching and stuff like that. And I want to share more into detail about that because you're going to hear me say it a lot. And that is the foundation of the podcast, but it's also the three pillars of personal power, is what I like to call it. So, let's go ahead and break it down so I can explain to you what it actually means and how it sets the foundation for this podcast and ultimately your life. So, transformation. It pretty much begins when you get honest with yourself, when you're tired of living the life that you're living, when you're tired of putting yourself in situations that you put yourself there because of the environment that you're in, the mindset that you have, or even the people around you that influence you. You know, there's this saying where if you hang out with five dummies, you're going to be the sixth, or you hang out with five toxic people, you're going to be the sixth toxic person. So, our environment and the people we choose to be around does have an impact on us, but ultimately, It's your choice to not let that phase you and get to you and instead overcome it. So, transformation is all about shedding old identities. It's releasing those limiting beliefs and breaking out of those cycles that are not helping you move forward in life. They're not helping you get to that highest vision you have of yourself. For me, transformation started the day I said, enough is enough. I'm unhappy with my life. I don't want to keep repeating the same pain. And I know that there's so much more out there for me. And I'm full of love, full of positive vibes, but I'm clearly not making the best choices to make my life happier than it was at that time. And transformation can be messy. It can be messy, but it's a beautiful thing because it leads to elevate, my next favorite word. And elevation is truly where the magic starts to happen. It's when you've let go of what's been holding back and you're in that building phase of figuring out it's time to rise. It's time for me to build new healthy habits. It's time for me to choose better thoughts, setting boundaries and reclaiming your voice, but ultimately doing new things that are going to shape the person that you want to become, because we can't do the same thing and expect a new result. So you got to shed the old you and you got to develop a new you. And that new you is going to require so many new things: a new mindset, a new way of thinking, a new way of doing, a new way of even loving yourself to ultimately be better than who you were and focusing on becoming more aligned with the life that you want to live and letting go of that fear. Sometimes we are fearful of the unknown. So we stay in what's comfortable for us. But staying in that comfort is what is detrimental to you, especially if you are not in a happy place. If you are at a place in your life where you're comfortable and you're happy and you're at peace, then more power to you. But when you're in a space where you're comfortable and the environment's not good for you, someone that you're with is not good for you, the choices that you're doing are not good for you, it's not going to help you grow. So you have to step out of that comfortability zone and get uncomfortable. So it's like you got to get used to getting uncomfortable to eventually one day again be comfortable. And I think that's just a process of life, right? Dealing with change, getting uncomfortable with maybe starting a new job, going to the gym, developing a new skill, talking to people, going to events. There's so many different ways that you can break out of your comfort zone. And taking these steps, like I always say, you're literally one decision away from changing your life, whether it can be meeting someone new, being in a new place, getting some advice from someone, or just having that aha moment where you're like, oh, shoot, I made this decision. It was pretty uncomfortable and scary, but it led me to a better place. And elevation is really where you just start making those decisions based on the life that you want. And once you transform, once you elevate, you start to thrive so much more in life because you're ultimately living in your power. You're living in alignment with the life that you want to create. And it's where peace, purpose, and joy meet. And I say that because you're now at a point where you're aware. You know what you don't want because you've already experienced all that. And you're like, I am not going back to that. It's time to move forward with my life. So then you start knowing, okay, I've been taking these actionable steps. I've been focusing on my self love. I've been prioritizing and transforming my mindset to now live a life where I'm making peaceful choices. I'm not putting myself in environments I should have. I'm developing more peace, more happiness, and just love and empowerment overall. And then when you look around, you realize that you're just not surviving anymore. And that's what you want to get out of that survival mode because it really doesn't feel positive. It brings a lot of stress. It has a lot of frustration and overall just like not good emotions. So once you start thriving, you're just living a more peaceful and happier life. And thriving doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It means that you're really rooted in who you want to be, in who you are, and you're connected, you're awake, you're aware, and you're moving with intentionality. So when you're making a choice, you think, is this serving my highest self? Is this decision going to make me progress or is it going to make me regress or is it going to keep me neutral? And every choice that you make ultimately has an outcome, whether it's a good outcome, a bad outcome, or just like a neutral outcome. And this is where you truly begin to shine when you are thriving. So I now want to share with you what you can expect from this podcast. We're going to have real conversations about self worth, mindset, identity, relationships, boundaries, and truly building the life that you want. And not the one that the world told you to settle for. And I know everyone's going to have their opinion on the types of lives that we should live. There's a lot of people who think that by a certain age, they should be married, have kids, have the house, have the business, but everyone grows within their own timeline. And all you got to do is plant those seeds, set that soil, which is your foundation for your growth, and continue to water it, even through those challenging times, the hard rain, the strong winds, the snow, all the crazy type of weather. You just want to continue to water and pour into yourself. And little by little, you're going to sprout and continue to blossom into a flower, for the men, a tree. So just continue to pour into yourself and know that eventually you're going to get to a better place. Now, success that we want isn't always a guarantee, but from what I've seen in my personal life and other successful people, and remember that success to everyone means a completely different thing. There is no one way to live a successful life. So define what success means to you. But I've seen that when people put in the work and they have a strong sense of self belief, eventually they get somewhere to a good place. You can only go forward if you're putting in the work and believing in yourself and being around good people that want to help you grow and want to see you grow. So, something to think about, something to think about. And in these episodes, sometimes it'll just be like solo, just you and me. And in other episodes, we'll have some guest speakers come on who have walked through the fire and found their light. And they'll come on and share their knowledge, because I'm sure you don't want to always be hearing from me, you know. And every episode is pretty much here to inspire you to take action, not just take notes. So the purpose is for you to create those aligned actions, develop into your self care routine, and figure out how to love yourself even more, respect yourself, and have a strong mindset, because truly everything starts within the mind. All right, so now I want to share, excuse me, what it's like to work with me. So I am based online, unless you book me to speak at one of your events. All of my life coaching is based online. So here is the process if you're interested. I have a link below where you can go ahead and book a clarity and growth call, is what I like to call it. And it's free. It's a time for you to choose a date and a time that works best for your schedule. And there we will discover what are your goals, what are your challenges, and to see if we are a good fit for one another. If all works out within that clarity and growth call, we'll move on to creating a program that is meant just for you. So remember that we're working hand in hand together as a team to ultimately help you overcome challenges or hitting specific goals that you want to work on. Now, everyone's different, and it's literally client by client. It's so flexible that we can meet on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, and just literally creating a plan that is meant for you. And it's all mainly via Zoom. Now, I do have clients that absolutely do not enjoy video chatting, which I respect that, and I'm totally okay with that. So another method where we can have our coaching sessions aside from a Zoom video meet would be over the phone, which is just as intentional, but it's more of a connection when we're seeing each other face to face and me guiding you and just talking back and forth and all of that good stuff. So that is what my coaching looks like. For more details, check the link below to book your free clarity and growth call, and I can go ahead and cater a coaching program that is meant for you. So, if in this episode something sparked in you, like you felt seen, you felt heard, inspired, or just motivated, I'd love for you to subscribe, like, leave a comment down below, and share this with someone you love. Share it with someone who you think they will take away a lot of good information to apply it to their life to become a better, healthier, and happier version of themselves. Make sure to check all the links below so that you can connect with me through my social media platforms, reach out to me via email for one on one coaching, to book me to speak at your next event or workshop. And remember this: you're not broken, you're becoming. You're not behind, you are right on time. And your story isn't over. Even when sometimes things happen to us and we feel like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Like, what am I going to do with my life? Just take a moment to step back, take a deep breath, be aware of what's going on in your life, but tell yourself, I got this. I'm going to get through this. And know that there is a whole life ahead of you, no matter where you're starting at, no matter your age, no matter your background. There's hope and a future for everyone. You just got to put in the work and you have to really want it. And as I mentioned before, it's not going to be an easy process, but it's going to be a beautiful process. And that's what transformation is all about. So, together, let's transform, elevate, and thrive. And I'll see you in the next episode.